Good morning and welcome to the Full Octane Garage. Today's a special day. Today's the day I get air conditioning in the garage. Have you ever considered this? I'll go into an in-depth discussion about what options are for heating and cooling a garage, and I'll kind of take some pictures as we go through the process here. So you can consider doing it for your own home. It's going to go on that wall right above the tool bench right there. Good morning. Welcome to Full Octane Garage. Today we've got a special project, not necessarily dealing with cars, but more along the garage side of Full Octane Garage. As you've seen with my garage in the past, I put a particular sense of detail and all into it, and I'm always looking at improving the environment. And a piece of information that you may not be aware of is I also own a heating and air conditioning company in the real world. And so combining those two, what I'm looking at doing today is installing a Fujitsu inverter style mini split system to heat and cool my garage. It's going to be 2-ton capacity, which will handle it under normal conditions. Yeah, pretty excited about that. Previous to that, I had a gas furnace that I had tied into the gas system and venting for the water heater, and so I had a heated garage in the past. And that was awesome just for keeping the garage. I keep it around 60 degrees in the winter, but during the summer the garage can get very humid and hit temperatures of 100 degrees. And so looking for a better working environment, a better environment to do the videos, and just to all around protect the vehicles and camera equipment and all that I keep in the garage. Now we're going to go ahead and install that Fujitsu mini split system today. Let's take a look at the components. All right, let's look at what happens outside for the air conditioning system. We're going to set the condensing unit, which is sitting on that two-wheeler, right over there where this pad is located. And there's a couple main components for a mini split system. There's an air handler that mounts inside the garage, and I'll show that in a minute. A line set, which is the copper tubing that runs from that outside condensing unit up the wall and into the wall where the air handler will be located. And the line set will be concealed by this gutter-like material that matches the existing gutter that's already there. And we'll also need a 220 circuit. We're home running a 220 circuit from the main panel box. And then there will be some control wire that goes from the condensing unit with the line set up in through the wall to the air handler also. And then a remote control controls everything. So that's pretty much on the outside. That's the basic plan. Condensing unit there on the pad, line set running up through the wall, electrical coming across and in. I'll probably paint that the color of the wall to conceal it, and we'll take a look at the inside. Here we have Joe and Mike, two of our outstanding installation people, about to install the air handler, which is sitting here on the floor next to the cabinets. Okay, so just to summarize, a Fujitsu mini split system, or any mini split system, typically you have a condensing unit that sits outside, and you have an air handler that's got the blower unit that mounts to the wall inside, and they're connected by copper tubing, which is the line set, and a control wire which powers the indoor unit from the outdoor unit, and it's controlled by a remote control in the garage also. When you are looking to heat and cool a garage, there has to be some expectation as to what you think the performance standards are going to be. It is not in a controlled environment like a residential home where you can do the math, run a manual J, a computer program to determine the size and the capacity of the home, infiltration, windows, things of that nature, heat loss, all factor into sizing the system correctly to perform within a particular window that's acceptable to the homeowner and to the industry. A garage, not so much. All you're trying to do in a garage is reach some reasonable expectation of comfort and humidity control, with the understanding that anytime you open the garage door, everything goes back to zero and you're starting over again. So you can, with an inverter style air conditioning unit, it will heat and cool in degrees of a percent, from 10% to 100%. And so you can oversize a system to handle large loads, and then once it achieves that standard that you're looking for, it will, the inverter will power that system down by degrees to help maintain it while controlling your humidity and doing it and maximizing the efficiency of it. That is the only penetration for the system, besides the electrical, is just a line set hole that's large enough to feed the liquid and suction line and the control wire through. So it's very non-invasive as far as systems go. That hangs on the wall, the other unit sits outside. It's pretty straightforward. This is the supporting bracket after the line set and control wire have been pulled from the outside to the inside to this air handler, which will hang on the bracket. Alrighty, so got the hole in the wall at the top there, and you can see the line set comes out, and we also have the control wire coming out, and that will go inside that. It's called line hide, and then it will go straight down and then along the bottom over to where the pad's going to be located. So why the Fujitsu Minisplit? Well, there's a couple different options for heating and cooling your garage. I'll go through those really quick. One, nothing. Two, ventilation. If there's no gas appliance in there, then you can put a temperature controlled exhaust fan in there, or a blower that will help exhaust heat during the heat of the day. You've always got your plug-in devices, but you have to be careful about things like that when you're in a enclosed space as far as combustibles. If you're doing woodworking in there, if you're storing paint or gasoline, things of that nature, you have to watch about ignition sources. I don't store any of that. I have a separate garage. I keep all that in, so this is strictly vehicles and camera equipment and look good stuff. So not a consideration for me. There has been in the past an opportunity or an option to run a separate duct line from the heating and cooling system from the main house into the garage to help temper the space. You don't have separate thermostats in that situation, so you don't have a thermostatically controlled system where if the inside satisfies the thermostat, the outside's never going to do anything. But local codes, well, national codes now say that you can't have common ductwork between a garage and a residential home system. So option number 3, the gas furnace that I have installed now. That's perfectly fine. There's some peculiarities about where you have to, about return versus where the supply is located and the venting and things of that nature. You have to take into account combustible air, whether there's enough cubic area of free space to provide combustion air for the gas furnace. But if it's a standalone furnace like I've got, I just merely piped the tied into the gas line for the water heater, common vented it with the water heater, and ran 110 volt to it, and then just hung the thermostat on the side of the piece of equipment. Not an ideal situation, but certainly capable of keeping the garage at a comfortable temperature during the winter. Got the added benefit during the summer while I'm out working in the garage, I can turn the blower on, and really makes a big difference as far as circulating air is concerned. But trying to take that next step, an option for actually cooling and humidity control in the garage, Minisplit is like the perfect piece of equipment for that.
It's ductless. You don't lose any efficiency. You don't have to run any duct work. It's all handled through the air handler. Everything is located either in the garage or outside the garage, outside, so you're not sharing anything with the rest of the house. The temperature sensing device, the thermostat, is located with the piece of equipment inside, so you're actually conditioning the space where the piece of equipment is located. And as long as you don't have too much traffic in and out, you can achieve a semi-comfortable to a comfortable environment. Again, you just have to have some reasonable expectation of what you think it's going to do, and with the understanding that there's a lot more external factors, traffic, doors open, insulation, infiltration, things of that nature, that the system will be working against in order to get to the garage to the comfortable environment that you're looking for. So I have a Fujitsu Minisplit system. The air handler I've got centered and hanging above the workbench in the garage. Again, it's 2 tons worth of air. That's 800 CFM. The garage is probably, in a regular residential environment, it's probably just about adequate for maintaining a regular temperature, but it's not that. So I'm going to expect it to do something great, but it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay.
All right, there's my finished and installed Fujitsu 2-ton inverter heat pump mini split. It's a little bigger than I remembered, but once the landscaping grows in and all, that ought to conceal it up nicely. The line hide did a real good job of matching the gutter color. I probably would have taken the disconnect and mounted it a little bit lower, but still looks really good. Again, I think the landscaping will take care of it. Hopefully that condenser air won't adversely affect the Japanese maples. Well, I guess we'll see. Notice how quiet it is, though. Sounds awesome. Very cool. Here's the indoor air handler running. I don't know what temperature they left it on, but it's definitely toasty in here. Certainly seems to be moving some air. Well, here's the remote control for the Fujitsu Minisplit. It has various fan settings. This is oscillating, and you can set the fan distribution on the lower part of it and the upper part of it. Set what fan speed you want it on. Quiet sounds awesome to me. Mode will set whether you want it in heat, automatic, which is heating or cooling, dry is for dehumidification, and then fan only, and then heat mode, which it's in heat mode right now. But yeah, you can set it up to run at different times. It's got a sleep mode. Don't know what economy is. I guess I'll play with some of that. But I'll leave it set at 60 degrees. Looks like they've got I'll have to set the time in here. They must have had it running about 2 hours and 5 minutes ago. But when you push the up and down, it changes the set temperature. So I'll probably leave it at 60, and then when it flips back, it'll time out and go to the actual display in the garage, which is 64. But yeah, very cool. Looking forward to playing around with it and seeing how it works. Yeah, I think it's going to do an awesome job keeping the automobile at an appropriate and comfortable temperature. I'll probably still leave the gas furnace in as a backup, and actually I think the furnace probably will do a better job of heating it in the winter, and the mini split will be more of a air conditioning application. But yeah, there it is. So it's a Fujitsu split heat pump system, mini split for your garage. The garage is, I believe, 27 by 23. This garage is, and 12-foot ceiling, maybe 11. I think this cabinets are probably 5 feet. But yeah, it seems like it's going to be doing a great job.
My next step, I think I'm going to look at adding a personnel door into the garage that goes outside, because I walk back and forth all the time, and every time I do, I open the garage door, and so I'll be starting back from scratch again. So I think the next step would be, if you have a personnel door, you can really limit the amount of air infiltration when you have traffic coming in and out of the space.
Feel free to leave any comments in the bottom as to what you think about it, whether you have any ideas of your own, or if you got any questions about the application or suitability. If I can't answer it, then I'll see if I can find someone that can. If you like our videos, as always, give us a thumbs up. Please share with your friends or your enemies, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for visiting us at the Full Octane Garage. The XKRS actually has to sit outside for a minute. Makes my chest hurt. Big thanks to my fellow team members at American Heating and Cooling who are helping out with this venture.
Some final notes. A 2-ton Fujitsu inverter mini split system installed will run somewhere in the $5,000 mark. Could be significantly less if the electrical is already provided. You'll need a 220 circuit located out at the condensing unit in order for the system to work. The Full Octane Garage would like to thank Ferguson Supply and American Heating and Cooling for their help in putting together this video today. Thanks for joining us at the Full Octane Garage.